All right, here we go. Orange Juice Sports, welcome in. We haven't done an episode in a while. We had some craziness happening in my life for the last couple of weeks, but we are back and better than ever. So if you've watched the first four episodes, you've been with us the whole way. We've talked about this, we've tweeted about it, we've posted TikToks about it, posted YouTube videos about it. The tournament, man, we're ready to roll. If you've been watching these videos, you know that we have all the knowledge over here. We know every team, we know every matchup, all of it. We're ready to roll. And we finally have it. It's finally here. It was a great week, 2 weeks of conference tournaments. Finally in the books. We had some great matchups. Team picking up momentum. Teams kind of cooling down a little bit that were hot. It's going to be interesting. And we finally have our beloved bracket. Look at that thing. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. So what I'm going to do today, we're going to do some initial reactions to the bracket because some of the stuff was absolutely stunning that we saw. Teams getting in, teams getting left out. Seeding issues were atrocious. We have some just amazing matchups. I think something the committee did really well was giving us the best matchups. I would say in recent memory, this is probably the most stacked slate of first round games, strictly based off of who's playing who. The seeding, again, I'm going to talk about the seeding. You can see I'm wearing my Michigan sweatshirt, so I have a huge issue with what happened to them. But there's some other teams that were just seeded really poorly. Some of the layout of the brackets are interesting. Some are weak, some are really hard. But we're going to get into all of it. We're going to talk about the bubble. We're going to talk about all of it. We're going to get into matchups, and then I'm going to bless you guys with some picks, and I'm going to give my entire initial bracket. Obviously, there's going to be some tweaks along the week as the week go on. But if you follow the TikTok, if you follow the Twitter, Orange Juice Sports Pod, you'll be able to keep up with what I'm updating and whatnot throughout the week. So let's get into it. Let me screen share real quick. Go. All right. So I think you guys can see that. Yeah. Let's just start with our initial reactions. The first problem, and I think it's the most glaring issue, it's the biggest talking point right now, is North Carolina. North Carolina's 1-11 against quad one teams. It might be 1-12 after the Duke loss, then third Duke loss of the year. But they're in the tournament. They have to play San Diego State in Dayton, which isn't a great matchup for them. San Diego State always does well in March, but the fact that UNC is even getting a ticket in is crazy. My guy T3 Bracketology, he posted a tweet that said on Bracket Matrix, it's a website that has every single bracketology in the like on the internet that gets followed, has a following. 111 brackets on there. All 111 of those brackets had West Virginia in. Only 26 of those had North Carolina in. Now, I get it. It's a big brand. They tried to pull the West Virginia doesn't have Tucker DeVry. He's been hurt since December, and they've been very good without him. They've done just fine without him. I think it's nonsense. I think it's unfair. It's if you flip the roles. If UNC was West Virginia, if they just wore Carolina blue, had five national or six, whatever it is, five national championships as a program, do we think North Carolina would have got in or West Virginia would have got in? I don't think so. I think it's a brand thing. I think it's a ratings thing, and I think that's goes along with the seeding issues. I think a lot of the seeding issues are just to get better matchups, to get more viewership, and to deal with that. That's a whole nother issue. Let's get into some of the seeding problems. Louisville my jaw hit the floor when I saw them as an 8 seed. I personally had them slated as a 6 seed and a comfortable 6 seed, not like a 6 seed closer to a 5 than they were a 7. And they came out there and they're an 8 seed and they're in Auburn's bracket and they have to play Creighton and their 5 and 4 is Michigan and Texas A&M. Texas A&M was a 2 or 3 like a week and a half ago, and now they're a 4 because of some stupid losses. UC San Diego and Yale, the best 12 seed by far, like one of the best 12 seeds we've ever seen. Yale won a game last year, and it's just an absolute buzzsaw. Then you go down further, you have Iowa State as a 3, you have Michigan State as a 2. It is a daunting region. Louisville really got a tough pull. Michigan, I'm speechless. The committee proved this week or today that the conference tournaments mean nothing. Michigan played 3 games in 3 days. They beat Purdue, second time of the year. They beat Maryland, avenged one of their losses. They beat Wisconsin, second time of the year. And they're a 5. And not only are they a 5, they're a 5 in the number 1 overall region. And they're playing UC San Diego, a team that's top 25 in metrics. How the fuck does that happen? How does that happen? It just doesn't make sense. Um, I think when you really dive into it, it's weird because Wisconsin's a 3. Michigan's 2-0 against Wisconsin this year. Wisconsin was the 5 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Michigan was the 3. Wisconsin's 2 seed, lines higher. Purdue, they're 4 seed. Michigan beat them twice this year, 2 out of 3 times. Beat them twice. Beat them in the tournament, conference tournament. And again, they were a higher seed in the Big Ten tournament than Purdue was. Maryland, they just beat them yesterday. I get it because it's a 50-50 split at least. Maryland's a 4. Maryland got the 4. Why not give Michigan a 4 and Maryland a 4? And it's just tough because if you're Michigan, you look at the other 12 seeds. It's always sucks being a 5 seed. They're -2.5 as a 5 seed. It's not great for them. I think they will be fine personally, but a lot of people will disagree. It's going to be a very heavily picked upset. But we'll get into that later. But you know what? You're playing a really good team first game. So we'll get into that later. Let's talk about some other seeding things. Gonzaga is at 8. Gonzaga is always funky how they're seeded. Last year, I think it was last year, they were seeded like 2 seed lines higher than we were expecting. This year, they're where they're supposed to be. They're an 8 seed. They absolutely should be an 8 seed. A couple people asked me like, "Oh, how's St. Mary's over Gonzaga?" St. Mary's beat them twice and won the regular season tournament or regular season title, and they've proven this year. They proved that the conference tournaments mean jack. They don't mean anything. Florida's the number 4 overall seed. Gonzaga's below St. Mary's. Michigan is a 5 seed below 3 teams that they beat this week. It's crazy. It really is crazy. That you just they didn't count conference tournament games they're huge. They're meaningful. Teams are playing for their seeding and they're playing to make tournaments like North Carolina was, like West Virginia was, like Indiana was, like Arkansas was, like all these teams that were playing for their seasons, but apparently they don't matter. They don't matter. Some other seed lines. I don't think there's really much else. Purdue as a 4, I think is crazy. I think Clemson should have been the 4 in that region. If they had Clemson as a 4 and Purdue as a 5 in that region, I think it'd have been perfect. I think it would have been great. I would have liked to see that. Memphis got a 5. I was expecting a 6, but they got a 5. Missouri's sitting at a 6. Yeah, there's really, other than that, there's not too many shocking surprises. I didn't think Wisconsin deserved a 3 after losing today. But whatever, not a big deal. Vanderbilt got a 10, which was a little bit surprising. I think that was just because of VCU getting bumped up to the 11th seed. So all in all, nothing really crazy other than the UNC getting in over West Virginia. That was the glaring issue. Michigan being a 5, they got just, I get it. I don't get it, but I see some sort of argument for it. It just sucks for them. It sucks for me as a Michigan fan. Like they just got the worst drawing they could have gotten. It's like a 1 out of 100 drawing they got. I don't know how the hell that happened. But yeah, it's good. It's a beautiful bracket. There's going to be some unbelievable matchups. Let me get into some of the matchups that I'm just really excited for. Louisville Creighton's going to be great. Louisville has had an unbelievable season. Pat Kelsey's doing such a great job, but Creighton's Creighton. It's just one of those teams that I feel like every time they're in, people are excited to watch them. Like they're just fun. They're fun offense. I just like Creighton a lot. McDermott always has those guys ready to roll. It just depends on if they're going to shoot that day. Is Ashworth going to be able to hit a shot? Is he going to hit the side of the barn, or is it going to be ugly or not? Obviously, Michigan, UC San Diego is huge. That's on Thursday. It's again another weird aspect of it. Thursday in Denver, so Michigan's got to travel to the West Coast to UC San Diego and play a day with a day's less rest. Texas A&M, Yale's going to be great. It's going to be great. San Diego State or UNC, excuse me. I'm not going to tip my hand too early. Versus Ole Miss should be a really good one. I'm really excited for Marquette, New Mexico. Shaka Smart sucks in March, and New Mexico coming in. They're firepower offense. They're a good team. I think this Michigan State Bryant game is a game to keep your eye on. I've tweeted a couple times this week. I have watched Bryant. I watched all their American East tournament games. They're different. They're not your typical mid-major. I wish they got a 14 seed because I think they probably upset Wisconsin. They give Iowa State a really good game. Kentucky would have their hands full with them. Texas Tech's the only one I think would have handled them. As a 15 seed, you get a tougher pull. Michigan State to Michigan State. It's Tom Izzo in March. But we've seen him lose to a 15 seed before. So I'm not going to, that's a game. I'm not acting like Michigan State's going to lose that game. It's like very unlikely. But Bryant is not a 15 seed. They have a starting lineup 6'6, 6'6, 6'8, 6'8, and 6'10. That's a power four size lineup. They have St. John's transfer. They have a Miami transfer. They have a St. Bonaventure's transfer. They have bodies. They have real bodies. They have talent and they have size, and they can defend and they can score and shoot from the outside. A lot of times we see these teams who come in with good shooting percentages, but they're just not big enough to get shots over these just long, tall defenders of these power four, these Michigan States, these Houstons, whatever it is. Bryant has the ability to be able to shoot over top of defenders. They're very, very big. They're physical. They're athletic. That's a game to keep an eye on. Phil Martelli Jr. is the coach over there. If you don't know who Phil Martelli is, he is a Hall of Fame coach from St. Joe's, was an assistant at Michigan the last few years. He is a Hall of Fame coach, took St. Joe's to a Final Four, coached Jameer Nelson, Delonte West, took them into the tournament multiple times in the prime of the A10. So they know what they're doing over there at Bryant. That's not a game you're going to really want to just brush off. I wouldn't just assume that Michigan State's going to go out there and win by 20. Could they? Absolutely. Absolutely. Should they? I'm not going to act like they should because Bryant's really, really stinking good. And Izzo will have him ready. Let's go down to the West real quick. Norfolk State, Florida, irrelevant. UConn, Oklahoma. It's just two teams I really don't like. I'll watch it because it should be a good game, but I just genuinely do not like either team. Memphis, Colorado State is going to be great. Both teams are coming in feeling really good about themselves. Colorado State, they're not supposed to make the tournament. And then you go and win your conference, you're feeling incredible. So that should be a really fun one to watch. Colorado State's so well coached, but then you have that high octane offense for Memphis. That's a great one. I love Grand Canyon. I was watching them last night. They started at like 12 a.m. It was great. They're really good. They were here last year. They won a game. They're returning a few guys from that last year's team. Good coaching. Maryland's really fucking good, man. And I don't really like them. I'm not a fan of Maryland. They're really talented. The only thing that makes me nervous about Maryland is they don't have any depth. They play six guys. They're very good six guys. Their starting five is all above 12 points a game or something like that. They're very talented. They have two good big men. Their guards can shoot and create their own shots. Not only can they shoot threes, they're going to be able to hit you off the dribble. They can get to the rim. They're very, very good. They force turnovers. This is a team that you need to, if they can get by Grand Canyon, Maryland can make a run and a pretty good one. I don't like that they're in Florida's region, but that is what it is. Missouri Drake, another game I'm just upset. Like Grand Canyon, I want to pick Grand Canyon, but I just don't think I'll be able to. Drake, I really want to pick Drake. Missouri's good. And they're hungry. They've been doubted all year. They came into the season, picked 15th in the SEC, probably lower than that. And they're here as a 6 seed in the tournament. And they just have been going toe to toe with big time programs all year. Just a tough spot for Drake. They've had that extra week off though. So maybe that extra week will give them some rest and some extra time to just be kind of ready to roll, dialed in. Texas Tech, UNC Wilmington is a nothing burger. Kansas, Arkansas, I love it. Arkansas is getting Boogie Flam back. They're going to be ready to roll. You got Coach Cal versus Bill Self. I've been seeing it everywhere. This is the best coaching region you've ever seen. You got St. John's, you got Patino, Coach Cal, and Bill Self all in a regional. That's incredible. It's going to be great for ratings. It's going to be just good basketball, and you got Hurley up top too. So it's going to be great. I'm excited for that. St. John's should be good. Omaha, obviously. Let's go over to the other side to just get through this a little quickly. Duke, not worried about Duke, obviously. Mississippi State Baylor is an interesting one. Very similar teams. Different, but similar. The bodies of these players are similar. They're freakish athletes on both of these teams. They're big and physical, both of these teams. Mississippi State wants to suck the life out of you. They just want to defend, defend, defend. Baylor, they can score 60 points in transition and just run and gun and just kill you. Very conflicting styles, but similar bodies on these teams. Oregon Liberty, another game to watch. Liberty is very, very good. They defend well, they shoot well. I love Dana Altman in March. Oregon is one of those teams, I've been saying it, like there's teams like a Michigan, like a Michigan State, like a Gonzaga, like a Oregon, when Syracuse gets in, when Butler gets in, when VCU gets in. These are teams that just make runs. They go Sweet 16. They win a game at least. They get into the tournament. They make it far. Oregon it's going to be a pick that I think I'm going to see a lot of upsets. A lot of people picking that upset. I like Oregon to comfortably take care of business in that one. Altman will have them ready to roll. This is one of my upsets to keep an eye on. Arizona, Akron. Lloyd has been upset before at Arizona. Akron is really, really good. We watched them the other night against Miami of Ohio in their conference championship. They can hit shots. They were down 16 in the second half and just cruised. After that, it was lights out. And when they get going, they get going. Very well coached. Coach has been there for a long, long time. This is a team. The MAC teams are always really good. Kent State's been there a couple times in the last few years. Toledo's been there. Now it's Akron's turn. They always have teams that can compete. They have really good guard play. They can shoot the shit out of the ball, and they're going to defend you like crazy. They're going to play hard. It's a really dangerous game for Arizona. I like Akron in that spot. We'll get to our picks later, though. BYU, VCU. I think this is a Sharpie upset. VCU's route, they're going to cruise. I think VCU is going to be our Cinderella of the year. They have a really nice looking path with the Wisconsin, Montana, and even the St. Mary's, Vandy, Alabama, Robert Morris isn't a great group of four. VCU has a chance to do something special. You're not going to see a lot of teams defend like they do, and they have scores. They can shoot when they need to. But my goodness, you got the good coach. You got Ryan Odom. He's been there, done that. He did it with UMBC, for Christ's sake. He's been there with Utah State. Now he's with VCU, and he's got a very, very comfortable path, and he's got them feeling good. It was looking like they didn't even need to win that game today against George Mason, and it was a battle. They had to fight and scrap for that win, and they find ways, man. That's a team that you don't want to see. They're very different styles, these two. BYU wants to score 80, 90 and just shoot the shit out of the ball. VCU ain't going to let you do that. They're going to slow the shit out of the ball down, and they are going to punch you in the mouth. They're going to defend. Just a dangerous spot for BYU. Wisconsin, Montana. Wisconsin's so bipolar. Hold on, let me grab my pen real quick. We saw 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was, their first game against UCLA. Wisconsin hit 19 threes. 19 threes in a game. Today against Michigan, they couldn't hit shit. They were probably 20% on like 40 attempts from three. It was atrocious. At one point, they were 4 for 34 from three. It was just atrocious. They're very reliant on shooting threes. Good defensive team. But if Tanjay's not playing well, if he's not shooting well, it's going to be a struggle for them. They'll be fine with Montana. Not saying they're going to struggle with Montana. But it's going to be interesting. They need to shoot well to advance. And if you're not going to shoot well against VCU or BYU, you're cooked. Not a great spot for them. I don't like where they're placed for Wisconsin. St. Mary's, Vanderbilt. I'm very partial to Vanderbilt. I'm a JMU student. Their coach, Mark Byington, was JMU's coach last year. He got us to the round of 32. He's a great coach. He's done a hell of a job turning that program around right away. St. Mary's, man, they're just such a fun team to watch. And if you don't like watching teams not turn the ball over and play defense and pass the ball really well, like that's not gonna be the team you like watching. But if you're a true basketball fan and just like a basketball junkie, St. Mary's is the kind of team you want to watch. They're gonna play to defend the hell out of you. They're going to play hard. They're going to be the guys diving on the floor and everything. You just do all those little things. They're a fun team to watch. I'm really excited for that game. That's going to be one of the games that I probably flip back and forth about 15 times throughout the week. It's going to be a tough pick. Alabama, I don't like Alabama this year. They can't defend anything. Grant Nelson's hurt. We were worried about Mark Sears. He got a little banged up in their last game. It's going to be interesting for Alabama. They'll be fighting against Robert Morris. They're very fortunate, I think, for the lack of faith I have in Bama. They have a really direct path. This is easily the weakest bracket. The East is a joke. Duke's good. Oregon's good. I think Arizona's going to lose. I think the 4 and 6 lose. Wisconsin's a mid 3. Alabama's a mid 2. It's a really crappy region. Just if you look at the South and the Midwest and the West, it's just they're so much harder. I don't know how they can make a bracket this light. It's shocking to me. It's really shocking, but that's how it is. Alabama's going to be able to make a run for sure. To the Midwest, definitely some interesting spots here. We talked about the Clemson Purdue thing. I hate that Clemson's playing McNeese. I wish it was Clemson versus High Point and Purdue versus McNeese because I want McNeese to win, but I really do love this Clemson team, especially coming off of last year. They went to Elite Eight. They know what it's going to take to get it done in March. I think McNeese or Will Wade might just have his foot out the door a little bit. He might be ready to take that NC State job, or if it ends up being Ole Miss, depending on what Beard does, we'll see. But Houston, obviously going to take care of business first round. Then everyone's saying, "Oh, it's Gonzaga, Gonzaga, Gonzaga." This isn't the same Gonzaga. Houston doesn't give a flying fuck who's on that 8-9 seed. They're going to go out there and 20 pop anybody who they play in the 8-9 matchup in the second round. I think Houston's going to comfortably get to the Elite Eight. Clemson will give them a test. Clemson will give them a test because Clemson plays hard. Houston's so good. This isn't like a Houston team that you have to worry about where's their offense going to come from. Roberts can score easily on anybody. He's one of the best bigs in the country. They have multiple guards who can shoot now, multiple guards who can get to the rim. You got Cryer. They're very good. They're very good. This is a different level of Houston than we're used to. They can score with anybody right now. They really can. Purdue, High Point. I think Purdue stinks. They're limping. They might win just because I don't really love High Point either. But we'll see. I really think it should be flipped. McNeese as the 13, or even if it was just Purdue as the 5, it would be perfect because then McNeese and Clemson would play in the second round. But that is what it is. Texas Xavier's interesting. I'm honestly shocked Xavier got in. Texas I expected to get in, but Xavier I didn't expect. That should be a good game. I think Xavier's going to have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder just because nobody did expect them to get in, and a lot of people are bitching that they did. But that should be a good one. Illinois, you just never know what you're going to get with them. They'll either win this game by 40 or they'll lose it by 40. There's no in between. So if it's Texas, I think they'll have a little bit harder of a time just because Texas can match their speed and athleticism. If it's Xavier, they'll probably just destroy them. Kentucky, Troy. Kentucky should be fine. Kentucky should be fine. Should be fine. Just every time you look at it, just say that on repeat in your head 100 times. Kentucky should be fine. Kentucky should be fine. Because you never fucking know with Kentucky. You never know. They find a way sometimes to just fuck it up. But who knows? Maybe this year they won't. I'm pulling for him. I really do like what Pope's doing over there. I like the roster. I like a lot of guys on Kentucky. And I don't want my cousin, who is one of my closest friends, to want to do something bad to himself. Because if Kentucky loses in the first round again, it's going to be ugly. UCLA, Utah State. It's a snooze fest. We'll see. Mick Cronin versus a team that can shoot the lights out. We'll see how it goes. I think UCLA will be fine. Tennessee, Wofford is a nothing burger. All right. So we're going to get into our picks now. I'm going to give you a little bit more of a breakdown, a more in-depth breakdown for each game as we go along. Gave you a little brief summary for each. Let's start with our games on Thursday or Tuesday and Wednesday. We have Alabama State and St. Francis. If anybody's going to watch this, good for you. We'll be watching it. We'll be betting on it, but I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference. Whoever they're playing to lose by 30 to Auburn. So good luck to them. We'll go with coin flip. I'm going to go St. Francis. I'm going to go St. Francis in that one. Why not? Let's see St. Francis. And then we got American versus Mount St. Mary's. Mount St. Mary's was the 6th seed in their conference. So the big surprise, they weren't supposed to be here. So they might be feeling really good. Mount St. Mary's made it a couple times in my lifetime, so I know that for sure. American, there's a lot of questions. They were the 2 seed, they were the 1 seed for a while in the Patriot League, and then they dropped to the 2 seed in the last week, and they got it done. Bucknell got taken out for them. They didn't have to worry about Bucknell. They took care of Colgate. So American, man, they're here. I think American's good. They'll get their win in Dayton and be good. San Diego State, North Carolina. I love Brian Dutcher. I love San Diego State in March. I think they're going to get it done. I think North Carolina's going to a little bit embarrass themselves. But this San Diego State team also isn't the San Diego State team they usually are. They're not as good as they have been in the past. I'm going to be a little bit of a hater here, but I'm kind of surprised that they weren't considered more to get dropped out than they were. They were almost like a guarantee to make it going into the selection Sunday. Like, I'm not surprised they're in at all because they were pretty much a guarantee. I'm just surprised there wasn't more chatter that they shouldn't have been in. So then we have them in North Carolina. You never know what you're going to get with North Carolina. They just don't play well against good teams. So we'll see. I hope for RJ Davis' sake. I love RJ Davis, one of my favorite guards ever in college basketball, but I don't know. I just don't know what to think about UNC. They just find ways to lose. Texas Xavier, I think Texas should be fine. It depends on how Xavier shoots the ball. Xavier can shoot the shit out of the ball. Both of those games will be really fun to watch. Texas is so talented. If they get in, I really hope they do because I think they can go on a sneaky little run. Maybe not Sweet 16, maybe not Elite 8, but they can win a game. I think they can. I don't think Xavier can, especially in that Illinois matchup. All right, so let's go here. So we're going to go with Auburn. I'm going to just start picking games here. We're going to go with Auburn. The Louisville-Creighton game, I'm going to be flipping back and forth with. Like I said, Louisville is criminally underseeded. They should be a 6 seed. They should be a 6 seed. But Creighton is one of those teams that it's either they're going to come out there and just light it up, or they're going to come out there and just put together a complete dud. The problem with Louisville is they really didn't have a super difficult non-conference schedule, which I think could come back to bite them a little bit. We'll see. Right now it's saying they're 2.5-point favorites. We'll see. We'll see. They defend really well. I like Pat Kelsey. I think he's going to have them ready to go. I think this is just going to come down to like who wants it more type of thing. It's going to be a really good game. This will be one of the best games of the tournament for sure, of the first round. I just think Creighton is such a 50-50. I'm going to go with Louisville just because Creighton's such a 50-50 because if they don't shoot well, they're not going to win. It's shoot well or don't, and there's never any in between. It's not like they're going to go out there and just have a mediocre shooting game. It's either the dry or the well is dry or it's a plethora of threes. They're going to hit 15 of them. It's either 3 or 15. There's never any in between. So I'm going to go with Louisville just because I trust them more as a team itself, like a whole body of work there. Michigan's UC San Diego. My thing with UC San Diego, everyone is talking turnovers. Michigan's biggest Achilles heel is turning the ball over. They turn the ball over against Big Ten teams that have big men that can guard Danny Wolf. He usually has 4 or 5 himself in a game. Trey Donaldson usually turns the ball over a good amount. This team isn't going to really have much resistance against the size of UC San Diego. When Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden are running their 2 7-footer high pick and roll, Danny's going to be able to see right over top of anybody who's on the floor guarding him. And I think what's going to happen is UC San Diego is going to start to plug in some guys who don't get a whole lot of minutes. They have a guy who's 6'10", but he only plays around 8 minutes a game. He's going to start getting minutes that he's not used to playing. And you get him on the block against Vlad Golden. Vlad Golden's an All-American talent. Like he's an all Big Ten first team All Big Ten, whatever the hell you call it. Like these are elite big men. And Michigan's feeling good. They're coming into this really confident. I know UC San Diego knows how to win. I really wanted to take UC San Diego going into the tournament, and now they're playing my team. And I think everybody's going to be picking UC San Diego because they all watched Michigan limp. They limped through the first or the last week of the season, but they took care of business at the end, and they got hot. But if you look at UC San Diego's season, their tough games are San Diego State and Utah State, and they went 1-1 in them. They didn't play any Power 4 teams. I don't know. Danny Wolf's been there. Vlad Golden's been to a Final Four. Dusty May's been to a Final Four. I think this is a good spot for Michigan. It's one of those spots for me where Would I be surprised if Michigan lost? I wouldn't, just because UC San Diego, they can shoot, they can defend, they really force turnovers. Um, I think it's one of those big spots for a small school that hasn't been here before. It's their first year eligible for the tournament. It's not like they've come in and done a Cinderella story in their school's history. So I think it's going to be a little bit interesting for them. I think Michigan is going to take care of business, which might surprise some people. A lot of people are going to have UC San Diego, and might happen. Really might. I love Michigan's size, though. I love the confidence they're playing with right now. The thing with Michigan is if their guards play well, they are Final Four good. If Trey Donaldson is playing confident, they're Final Four good. If Roddy Gale isn't airballing every shot he takes, they're really, really good. And Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden against the 6'8" and 6'4", 6'6" front, like it's just not going to happen. They're going to be able to just pick that apart all day. Texas A&M, Yale. I love Texas A&M, but I love Yale. I love Yale. And I think this is going to be one of those regions where I'm going to see a lot of people picking a 12 versus a 13 in the first round. We what's his name on the bracketology show when they were releasing the brackets? Davis. I think it's Seth Davis. He picks every upset in the book. He's like, well, this is going to be UC San Diego versus Yale. Like instantly, before we even got to Ole Miss game, he's saying that. He every year he seems to pick 15 upsets in his bracket, and he's just never right. So I would just be cautious picking too many. But on this one, I'm going to go with Yale. I've watched Yale a lot this year. They shoot the shit out of the ball, man. They shoot the shit out of the ball. They're so efficient. They're not going to turn the ball over. They have good size. They've been here. They did it last year. They beat Auburn. I really do like Yale. I like Texas A&M a lot too, but they've been just kind of inconsistent the last month of the season. So I'm going to go with Yale here. And I would love this. Look at this second round matchup. Michigan, Yale. You got Danny Wolf, Yale transfer at Michigan, getting to play his old school. How cool would that be? That'd be a great story for round of 32. So Ole Miss, San Diego State, or North Carolina. Another interesting spot. This is our third SEC team already. We have them 1-1 so far. I love the SEC, but this is not a good matchup. Chris Beard, I think he's gonna be taking the Indiana job this year. So I think his foot is halfway out the door. Part of the reason is because Indiana isn't in the tournament. This isn't one of those things where both teams are focusing on their season still. Indiana's not in the tournament. So they're probably making calls right now to Ole Miss, to Chris Beard, and being like, hey, like, we're ready. We have the papers locked up, ready to roll. So I do like either North Carolina or San Diego State upsetting Ole Miss here. So already we have a 13 and an 11. Now, I'm going to say this already in this region, Louisville, Creighton, and Ole Miss versus whoever they end up playing. Those are two games I'm going to flip-flop multiple times. Auburn, Michigan, and Yale, I'm locked in on those three. But these are games that go follow the Twitter, go follow the TikTok. I'm going to be flipping back and forth a couple times, I'm sure, this week. Iowa State, Lipscomb. Iowa State they haven't been the team I expected them to be this year. They started off red hot, and they've just been kind of coasting through the rest of the year. But I think they'll take care of business against 14, and this sets them up really nicely to get to the Sweet 16, playing either a San Diego State or North Carolina. If it's North Carolina, they'll have absolutely no problems. San Diego State plays everybody tough, so we'll see with that. Marquette, New Mexico. Shaka Smart, I will never, ever, ever pick in the tournament. New Mexico is going to roll. They have a high efficiency offense. They've played some good teams. Mountain West is a very good conference. Patina is going to have those boys ready. Let's see some of these matchups we've seen from Marquette. I picked Marquette to win the Big East tournament, and they did well. They went on a little run. But St. John's, 0-3 to St. John's, lost to UConn twice. I mean, you can't lose to UConn twice this year. They're not very good. Just they didn't really beat anybody that they should have beat, or that they would have been an underdog. New Mexico beat San Diego State, beat VCU. Got some good wins in there. So this is going to be a 50-50 ball as well for most people. I'm going to go with New Mexico. I love their high-powered offense. They defend at a good level, high level. And I don't trust Marquette ever in March. I don't trust Shaka. He seems to piss down his leg a lot, pretty much every year. We have Michigan State Bryant. I'm so angry. I was texting my buddies all week. not a whole week, but all weekend after Bryant won. I'm like, whoever they're playing, I'm picking them. I'm picking Bryant. They're going to be my shocking upset of the year. Now they're playing Michigan State. I'm so upset. Like, I really do want to pick them. And I still might if something really like comes over me, but I just don't think I can. It's so frustrating because I really think Bryant, if they are playing Bama, if they're playing Tennessee, if they're playing who's the other two seed, St. John's, I think they got a fighting chance, like a real fucking chance. They have a chance against Michigan State. They absolutely do. It's just hard. I'm going Michigan State. If you're a Bryant fan, if you exist out there and you're watching this, just know I love you guys. I do love Bryant. I really do. I'm a huge Bryant supporter. I'm a huge Bryant supporter. All right, can I hold on here? All right, my computer's about to die. Give me 2 seconds. All right, this thing has made me through 4 years of college. I need to have it get me through another 2 months, and I'll be able to get a new one. But it's got pretty much the shortest battery life you've ever seen. But we're good now. Sorry about that. Let's lock in again. Um, so we're gonna just go right down to the West. We're not gonna do like the full region breakdown yet. We'll go round by round. Florida over Norfolk State, easy. Oklahoma, UConn. I think UConn will get it done. Um, I hate UConn. I don't think either of these teams have a chance to beat Florida. Florida is playing better than anybody in the country, and it's not even close right now. A couple of people texted me this week and they said like, oh, like who is Florida, like are they a kind of a sneaky underdog to win the national championship? No, not at all. They're the favorite. If you don't think Florida's the favorite right now, if you're looking at this bracket, you see St. John's, people are going to pick St. John's because they're fun, they're New York, blah blah blah, whatever. Rick Pitino, they're great. I love St. John's, but we got to jump off that shit. Duke, it's Duke, it's Cooper Flag, it's the big brand. It's Auburn, the number one overall seed, blah blah blah. Blah. Fuck off. Fuck off. Florida is a buzzsaw right now. They're demoralizing like elite teams. They're just sucking the life out of them. They're scoring 80. They're defending well. They're shooting threes. They're dunking on you. They are on a different planet right now. They're coming in red hot. Nobody's beating Florida right now. Have I decided if I'm going to have them win the Natty? Pretty much. I think I'm going to. They have a really difficult region, which is tough. I was pre-bracket release. I was talking Texas Tech. I was talking St. John's. I was talking Florida. All three of them being possible Final Four teams, and now they're all in the same region. So, I mean, fuck me, I guess, for wanting to have three teams that are really good not playing each other in the first 3 rounds of the tournament. But whatever. I digress. So we're gonna go UConn. I'm gonna go Dan Hurley. Just getting his boys ready. They have the talent. They have the upside. McNeely will have one of those games where he scores 30. If they can get Mahaney going, Solo Ball's a dog. DR is a dog. Like they have good players. There's just something about him I just really don't like, and I don't trust. So we're gonna go with them to win one, but I'm not really concerned about them taking care of Florida at all. Memphis, Colorado State. Memphis fans, you want American Athletic Conference tournament? Feeling great. You got your 5 seed. You're playing Colorado State. Not a good matchup. Not a good matchup. Memphis is going to turn the ball over a good amount. Colorado State's going to turn you over a lot. Memphis likes to shoot threes. Colorado State likes to defend threes. I really like Colorado State in this spot. I love when teams weren't supposed to make a tournament and they still like they get in somehow. They find a way in. It's always huge for me. Now Memphis, they have a really good non-conference and neutral site record. Beat Clemson this year. They beat Michigan State. They beat UConn. They beat San Francisco. Beat Ole Miss. They have really, really good wins. But there's just something about Colorado State that's speaking to me right now. There's something about them. They're coming in red hot. And so is Memphis. I understand that. It's just, again, when you're the favorite, it's different when you're winning as the favorite than when you're winning as like back against the wall. You have to get it done. The Colorado State's coming in feeling really good. They're well coached. They don't turn the ball over much. They play great defense, hit shots when they need to. Colorado State, book it. Moving on, I think they might be favored. Colorado State is -2.5. So everybody's going to be betting on Memphis. Everybody's going to be betting if you're gambling and not just picking brackets, Memphis is going to be like the biggest pick of the day. So I'm going to go with Colorado State. Grand Canyon, Maryland. Let's hit the preview button. Grand Canyon 26-7. They just won the WAC the other night. Very good team. They're coming back from last year. Tyan Grant Foster was the dog last year for him. I just think Maryland is really freaking good. Maryland is as talented as anybody in their top 5, 6 guys. Their starting lineup is legit. I think a lot of people are going to pick Grand Canyon because they see a familiar name from last year. And I don't think it's a bad pick. I really don't think it's a bad pick. If I'm just turning on my bracket and I want to have some fun and pick an upset, Grand Canyon wouldn't be the worst pick. But man, Maryland, man. This team's dangerous. I think if there's going to be a threat, a sneaky threat to Florida early, it would be Maryland in the Sweet 16. They have the talent, the scoring, and just the firepower to match up with Florida. The only thing that really concerns me of them making a deep run is the depth issue. They really don't have a ton of depth. They only play 6, 7 guys consistently in like valuable minutes. They're going Sweet 16. I promise you that. They'll beat Grand Canyon. But that Florida game's it would be tough. That'd be a tough spot for them. Missouri Drake, another one of those games I feel like I'm going to be flip-flopping a good amount. I have not been very kind to the SEC so far. Right now they're 1-3. And it's not even really a knock on the SEC. It's just they've kind of got crappy matchups. They got really crappy matchups. Like Auburn's fine, obviously, but like Texas A&M has to play Yale. That sucks. Ole Miss has to play San Diego State or UNC. That sucks. And now what's it called? Oklahoma has to play UConn. That sucks. Missouri has to play Drake. That sucks. I would hate that. I am going to go with Missouri here. But I think it's going to change a couple times, like probably 20 times. Drake is so good. They defend the hell out of you. They got good shooters. They're just well coached. They know how to win. These are the teams that you have to worry about. This is what does worry about me, like the UC San Diego's, the Grand Canyon. These are teams that just are used to winning. So God forbid, like that game's close late, Drake's going to win. Missouri has to win by a pretty good margin for them to win that game. Let's see what the line is. Missouri -6.5. They have to cover that spread. If they don't cover 6.5, they're fucked. Like they're not winning by 4. They're not winning by 3. It's close game. Drake wins or Missouri wins, like comfortably. I'm going to go with Missouri winning comfortably just because Drake has not looked great other than their conference championship game. Against Bradley, they looked really, really good. But those like last 5, 6 games going into the conference championship, they struggled. They had some real battles, and I think their luck is going to run out a little bit here. They had some overtime games against just like lesser opponents. I think Missouri's going to be fine. They're going to be ready to roll. They got knocked out of the tournament a little bit earlier than they would have liked, SEC tournament. So I think they're going to be well rested and ready to go. I like that spot for Missouri. All right, let's do our next one. Texas Tech and UNC Wilmington. I'm not discussing this one much. Respect UNC Wilmington. Good job. They were my pick to win the CAA. So good job. I'm proud of you. Texas Tech is really good. I said it earlier. Texas Tech's Final Four good. Texas Tech is Final Four good. They're so well coached. They play hard. The one thing I was a little turned off by when they played, I think it was Arizona. They lost to Arizona in the conference tournament. They didn't play hard in that game. There was a very weird vibe to that game. I tweeted it. It was a weird vibe shown from Texas Tech. I think they were like just disinterested. I think they're ready to go for the conference or for the NCAA tournament. They just didn't look interested. And I've watched 10, 15 Texas Tech games this year. They fly around and they play hard and they get in your face and they defend and they run and they shoot. They're good. They're really well coached. They have high energy. It was missing in that Arizona game. There was something lacking. And I think part of that is just the setting for the Big 12 tournament sucks. It's in Kansas State or Kansas City, and there's about 15 people who show up to it. It's really ass. Game times are late. It's not great. I think that's something Big 12 needs to really improve on. But I'm going to go Texas Tech here. I think they're going to make a really nice run here. All right, next up. Kansas, Arkansas. Kansas, if you follow me, if you know me, you know I have 3 teams on my shit list. Kansas, UConn, Gonzaga all year. all year since November have been on my shit list. And there's reasons for this. They're not good. They're not good. And Arkansas is fired up. Arkansas has the talent to beat anyone. Kansas does too. But I think Kansas is going to go in there and be a little bit complacent. I think they're going to just expect to go in there and win. That's kind of the thing with Kansas this year. They have this air about them that they're going to just walk into a gym and beat them purely based off of their talent. Problem is, they have a lot of guys that they're just trying to shuffle in there. They got AJ Storr. They got a lot of guys they're just trying to shuffle in there that weren't part of the program last year. Zeke Mayo, and it's not really fitting. They're really talented players, but they don't fit really well together. So I'm going to go Arkansas here. They're getting Boogie Flan back. Arkansas has been playing they played really well without him. The last couple of weeks, gave Ole Miss a really good game. They beat Texas, right? Was it Texas? No. Who did they beat in their first round game? I'm losing my mind. South Carolina. And it was a crazy ending, but they have talent. I mean, you got guys who have experience in the tournament. DJ Wagner, he's gonna have a sour taste in his mouth from last year at Kentucky. I really like this spot for Arkansas. I think Arkansas actually could be dangerous for St. John's in the round of 32. St. John's is a lock, Sharpie pick. They're gonna win their first game. But that's a game to keep an eye on. Arkansas St. John's, Coach Calvers Patino, both away from Kentucky. These are some games. Like this second round is going to be, if it goes, obviously it's not going to be perfect the way I want it, but it's going to be electric. Florida versus Dan Hurley. You got Michigan State, New Mexico. You got Michigan versus Yale, Auburn, Louisville. These are fucking blockbusters. Let's rip the East. Duke. I'm not discussing it. Mississippi State, Baylor. I love Baylor. I really do. And I like seeing Baylor succeed. This is an interesting spot for them, though. They just really struggle to beat good teams. Like, look at that. That's not good. It's not good. They don't play up to their opponents. They don't beat the people they're not supposed to beat. But neither does Mississippi State. They're very similar. I'm telling you, they're very similar. I think the good thing about Mississippi State compared to Baylor is Mississippi State can beat you in multiple ways. Baylor, they can't. Baylor is very just athletic. They like to push. They like to run. If it's a slow-paced game, they're screwed. They can't because they can't use that athleticism if it's a slow-paced game. They can't get out in transition and jump all over you and fly around. You can't do it. Mississippi State can really just pound you. They can beat inside. They can hit threes if they need to. Mississippi State's a good team. I really do like the spot for them. They defend well. They can score the rock. I think Baylor's going to be a popular pick. I'm going to go Mississippi State, though. And I hate that because I really do like Baylor. I like Scott Drew, but he's struggled in the tournament lately. In the last, 5 years? Since that national championship, they haven't done shit in the tournament. Haven't done shit. So I'm going to go Mississippi State. And that's not one I'm going to flip-flop. I'm not going to flip-flop that one. I like Mississippi State in that spot. I think it's a comfortable spot for him. Oh, get choked up. All right. 5-12. Have we picked a 12 yet? Yeah, we picked Colorado State. Another 5-12. We got Oregon Liberty. I like Liberty. I do like Liberty, but I love Dana Altman. I've said it a couple times in this pod already. Oregon minus 6.5. It already moved towards them, so people are going to be betting on Oregon. I love Jackson Shelstad. He's one of my favorite players in the country. I think this is a good spot for them. Liberty's really good, though. Oregon was unbelievable in non-conference. I think it's honestly that works out to their benefit because they didn't do great in the Big Ten this year. I think they got the 4 seed. Was it the 4 seed? No, they were the 8 seed. They didn't do great. But in non-conference, they were a machine. They had like 8-9 wins before conference play even started in quad one. Like they were a machine. So I'm going Oregon, and that's not a flip-flopper. I like Oregon comfortably in that one. Dana Altman, when he gets to the tournament, they make a run. And it might not be to the Final Four. It might not be to the Elite Eight. They're going to get to the Sweet 16. And I promise you that. Akron, Arizona. I'm going to Akron. This is one of my big upsets of the year of the tournament. We have 13 seeds. We have 2 13 seeds. We have a 12 and we have 2 13 so far. We have an 11 if you consider that an upset. I do a little bit. I have a couple 10s already. Love the 10s, but 13. So we got Akron over Arizona. Tommy Loy's lost a couple times in the tournament or lost the first round before. Akron, I just really like how they defend. I like how they can shoot. They can really shoot and contested threes. They got firepower offensively. This team can score. Akron is a really, really dangerous team. Um, Arizona is very streaky. Arizona's played a lot of good teams. They've been hit or miss. They're either really good or they struggle. I like the spot for Akron. This is one of those that I don't expect. Like if Arizona goes out there and beats them by 20, I wouldn't be surprised. But plus 13 and a half, the value is going to be there. The value is going to be there. 84 points a game, people. That's a lot of points. They can fill it up. They can fill it up. I like Akron there. I like Akron. I just don't think Arizona is going to be prepared. I don't think they're going to be prepared. It takes is one game of Caleb Love shooting 3 for 19, which happens once every other week, and Akron's in business. And they got junkyard dogs in the backcourt for Akron that are going to get under Caleb Love's skin, which could be a really dangerous thing for Arizona. Because if he gets into his own head early, that could be trouble. He airballs a shot early, that could be trouble for Arizona. VCU, BYU, I love VCU. BYU was very similar last year. They can shoot the shit out of the ball. They wow people with their high percentages and this and that. Tournament time's different. Tournament time's different. They got a lot of guys, pretty boy shooters and this and that. VCU's a bunch of dogs. VCU's a bunch of dogs. They're gonna get in your throat. They're gonna jump at you. I love VCU. They can shoot. They have scorers. You got Shulga. You got Zeb Jackson. You got guys who can straight up score. You have power 5 talent, power 4 talent. You have a coach that's been there, done that. He won with UMBC. He won with Utah State. He's been there, done that. And he might be punching his ticket to a new job after this tournament run because I think they're going to go on a run. VCU, I really think is dangerous. You're not going to see a team defend harder than VCU. At the mid-major level. Like they are going to defend the hell out of you. Like they're going to it's going to be 40 minutes of hell. They're going to press you 30 of those 40 minutes. And it might not be a zone press. It might just be straight man, like getting in your shorts. They're ready to go. They're going to be jumping at you. And I don't think BYU is like mentally prepared for this. I think VCU is going to mess them up. I think it's going to be ugly. It's going to be like one of those low scoring games that BYU just cannot figure it out. They shoot the 3 well. VCU defends the 3 at an unbelievable rate. Wisconsin, Montana. I don't think Wisconsin has to do much to win this one. I think, like I said, there's always one upset that just blows people's mind. I'm going with Akron over Arizona. I think that might be more popular than I think it will be. It could be Montana over Wisconsin. It's very unlikely. It could be Bryant over Michigan State. Very unlikely. But there's always that one that just like breaks the internet. It goes nuts. St. Mary's Vandy. This is similar to like the 50-50 bombs I've been dropping. I'm going to change it a few times. I'm going to give a tentative St. Mary's right now. I want Vandy, but I love St. Mary's. They're so well coached. They don't turn the ball over. They have so much experience. This team just they'll shoot it when they need to. It's a team I really do like. I think either of these teams, if they do advance, whichever one do, will give Alabama a really good game. Because Alabama is going to beat Robert Morris. Whoever wins that game, whether it's Vandy or St. Mary's, is going to give Bama trouble. I'm going to go with St. Mary's. I think it's tough for a team like Vanderbilt to play in tournaments because there's just so many new pieces, new coach. You could say that for a lot of teams we've talked about, for Louisville, for Michigan, and I had them winning for different reasons, but I think it could kind of be trouble for them. Vandy's had times where they just don't look like a tournament team this year. Jason Edwards shoots really bad shots very often. He's a high, what's the word? He's going to shoot a lot. He's going to shoot a lot, and a lot of it's going to be shit, but we'll see how it goes. I like St. Mary's. I think they're just more disciplined. If Vandy gets down early, they're going to need to really claw back, but it's really hard to get back into a game against St. Mary's. So it's all about how Vandy starts in that one. And I know they've had a lot of really good comebacks this year, but it's just not the style St. Mary's plays. They want to just drag the game out. So it's going to be interesting. I do like St. Mary's in that for now, though. Houston, I'm not going to waste any time on this one. Gonzaga at Georgia. Georgia's playing really well lately. They had a hot last 2 weeks of the season. I think a lot of people are going to pick Gonzaga here just like off rep. I wouldn't be so sure. This is a game that people need to keep a little bit bigger of an eye on. Gonzaga's -6.5, which is shocking how high that is. I mean, they lost to Kentucky by one, lost to UConn, lost to UCLA, lost to St. Mary's twice. It's a tougher game than I think we're making it out to be. Obviously, like we see they have a couple wins, Baylor and Indiana, but it's not like Gonzaga had this non-conference schedule that they usually do where they were beating the Houstons and the Dukes. That didn't happen this year. Georgia is battle tested. Georgia is battle tested, and I know they lost a lot of these tough games, but they have a couple of wins in these SEC matchups. They beat Florida. I mean, it's going to be one of those games. I'm going to go with Gonzaga just because I think there's a higher chance of Gonzaga blowing out Georgia than there is of Georgia. Like, I would be shocked if it's a close game. I think it's either going to be Georgia blows them out by 20 and shocks everyone, or Gonzaga does. This is a game that people really need to be careful with because I think a lot of people are going to just start throwing money around and betting on Gonzaga like heavy. Georgia is no slouch. Like they have some dudes on that team. They can score it in bunches. They're gonna play really good defense. They've played they played in the toughest conference all year long. Um, it's a dangerous spot for Gonzaga. I think it's a lot of people are just acting like it's a guaranteed win for them. We'll see. We'll see. I'm gonna go with Gonzaga tentative, but that might be one I change later in the week. Clemson McNeese. I'm going Clemson, and I hate it. And it's not that I hate Clemson. That's my thing. I love Clemson. I love McNeese so much. Um, I just I think when you played in like what Southland Conference, they just haven't really been tested too much. I know they played a couple of really solid teams in non-conference play, but I just think Clemson knows what they have to do. They've been here. They went to the Elite Eight last year. They're prepared. This is a big spot for them. McNeese played Bama tough. I mean, they have a solid resume. They have a solid resume. They played some SEC teams tough. I love when teams like Clemson get in this spot where a lot of people are going to be picking against them, but Clemson's legit. I think we forget about Clemson, about how good they actually are, just because we don't really think basketball when we think Clemson. Like it's like, whoa, this is back-to-back years. They're a high seed. Like Clemson's a really good program. They're well coached. They have a lot of guys back from last year's team. I like Clemson to make a pretty good run. Um, I said it earlier. I said Houston like isn't going to be tested. I don't think Gonzaga or Georgia test Houston. Clemson will test Houston. They will test them in a big way. Purdue High Point. Um, 29-5, man. High Point knows how to win. It's another one of those teams that knows how to win. They can score it. What are they averaging here? What's the number? 82 points a game. They can flat out score it. They were here. They were so close last year. They were the one seed in the what conference is this? Longwoods Conference. This is gonna eat at me. Big South. Big South. They were the one seed in the Big South last year, and they got upset by Longwood, who was like the 7 seed or the 8 seed in the conference tournament. And it's just like heartbreaking. They had a similar year last year. They might have had a better record last year than they did this year. This team is really, really good, High Point. They can really freaking score it. It's tough to pick against Braden Smith, but Purdue, they're very prone to losing in the first round of tournaments. We know this. Last year, they obviously made their big run to the national championship, but Zach Edey's not there anymore. And Trey Kaufman-Renn in the tournament, he's not going to get away with the bullshit he gets away with in the Big Ten. He is one of the most loved players in the Big Ten by the refs. Big Ten refs, let me tell you, are like no conference comes close to how bad they are. And it's every game they pick a team and that's it. It's whoever they pick. It could be Michigan versus Purdue. They could just be calling everything on Purdue that day. It just depends on the day. They are horrible. And it's been Purdue in favor of that very often because they let certain players be physical and certain players not be physical. He is one of the most physical players in the country, and that shit might not slide in the tournament against a team like High Point, and they might exploit that. I'm going High Point. I just don't think Braden Smith has enough help. I really don't. He's so good. And it's one of those players, like I watch him play and I'm like, how is this dude so good? He looks like he's going to be like working at Dollar Tree next year. Like he doesn't look like a basketball player. He's incredible. He's incredible. He gets to his spots. He gets you on his hip. He's quick. He's an incredible passer. He's a great rebounder. He's a great defender. He can shoot the three. But there's just not enough around him that's consistent. If Kaufman-Renn gets in foul trouble, they're in trouble. And he gets very emotional in games often too. I don't like this Purdue team at all. They've been really struggling lately. I'm stunned that they got a 4 seed. I'm going to go High Point. And is that 13 seeds I have? 13 seeds. I like the 13 seeds. I like the 13 seeds. And it's not even that I like the 13 seeds. I think it's that I hate the 4 seeds. I don't like the 4 seeds. This is part of the reason why I don't understand. Like the 5 seeds might be better than the 4 seeds. Michigan's better than Purdue. Clemson's better than Purdue. Maryland's good. Maryland's good. We didn't have them getting upset. Texas A&M's good. They just got a bad matchup. Arizona's not that great. I don't know. I don't know. I got another upset there. So we're upset happy right now. Illinois, this is one I'm gonna change later in the week because it depends who they play. If they play Texas, I think I'm gonna go Texas because I think they can match the size, the athleticism, the physicality, and just the pure bodies. Like they have power four bodies. Xavier won't be able to do that. I don't think Xavier can do that. The only way they do is if they shoot perfect, like shoot one of their best games of the year. They can shoot shit out of the ball, but if they don't have that in a game, they're going to be in trouble. So it really just depends on who wins the Xavier Texas game. I'm going to go Illinois for now. I don't think Kentucky's going to lose this time. Troy's got a really good guard, Tate Conway, but outside of that, it's just not really one of those teams that I have to worry about. Lamont Butler is playing, so they will be healthy. Kentucky's had some big wins this year. They've had some bad losses, but they've had some really good wins. I like this spot for Kentucky. I like this bracket. Their route is really good. And I know a lot of people are going to see Kentucky and be like, oh, they always get upset. I think this is a different era of Kentucky basketball we're entering into. So I'm going to go Kentucky there. UCLA, Utah State. I'm going to go UCLA. It's a game it's a toss up for me. I'm going to trust Mick Cronin. I like coaching in that spot. Utah State, it's so impressive that they just continue. I think it's their 3rd year in a row with a new coach, and they just keep getting back. They keep making it back. They just keep winning games. They keep showing that they're just consistent. They get the same kids. They develop them well. They shoot the ball well. They play good defense. They don't turn the ball over. It's an incredible program. Mountain West just never. They always get 4 or 5 teams in, and they just seem to never really do well. And we're going to go Tennessee over Wofford. So now we're done the first round. Let's take a look. We have in the South, we have Auburn, Louisville. I have Michigan, Yale, San Diego State / UNC, Iowa State, New Mexico, Michigan State. We have Florida, UConn, Colorado State, Maryland, Missouri, Texas Tech, Arkansas, St. John's. And then if we go up to the East, we have Duke, Mississippi State, Oregon versus Akron, upset 13 seed over Arizona. We have VCU upsetting BYU, playing Wisconsin, St. Mary's, and Bama. And then in the Midwest, we have Houston, Gonzaga. We have Clemson, High Point. We have Illinois, Kentucky, and UCLA, Tennessee. So the SEC comes in with 14 teams. 14 teams. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of the 14 moving on to the round of 32. That's subject to change. A couple of them were in my 50-50 pops. So there you have it. Let's get to the round of 32. Sorry, this is taking a while. I'm sure you guys are like, why is this guy talking forever? But I love my bracket and I got to dissect it. I got to get locked in. If you guys want to know what to do, this is the video you got to watch. You can just watch it throughout the week. You don't have to watch it all now. You want to do your first round picks, do that now. You want to skip later into the video, that's perfectly fine too. And you can watch the round of 32 picks or the Sweet 16 or just who I have in the Final Four, whatever you want. We're going to get there. And we're going to get there together. Louisville, Auburn. Here's an interesting thing to know. You know where this game's played? Lexington, Kentucky. You know where Louisville is? It's in Kentucky. Louisville's got a big-ass fan base. They haven't been good the last few years, so a lot of people might not know that. Louisville's got a big fan base, and that place is going to be all red. It's going to be all red. I have said for the last couple months, there's something about Auburn that I really do not like. I don't like. I think they got a very fortunate spot here. I think they're better than Louisville and Creighton. But I think there's something about Pat Kelsey. He can get those boys going. And I think Auburn's coming in on a little bit of a limp here. Lost 3 of the last 4, struggling a little bit. Ever since they did that little belt ass bullshit at Kentucky, got a little cocky. It seems that every time Auburn is tested, they just crumble. They just struggle when adversity hits. and I think Louisville is one of those teams that thrives in it. I think I'm gonna tentatively go Auburn, but this is a game I'm gonna come back to. I hate that I have Auburn Sweet 16 because I don't think they're that great. I really don't think they're that great. Um, I might come back to this later in the video, honestly. Honestly, I'm gonna go Michigan over Yale. I think getting past Michigan has to get past UC San Diego, obviously. If they are able to do that, this team can go Elite Eight Final Four. If they can beat UC San Diego, they are going to, if they can just ride this wave that they're on right now, they're feeling so good. They're feeling hot. They're ready to go. A win over a team, like everybody's doubting them against UC San Diego. If they beat them, there's not going to be a lot of teams who are prepared to see what the confidence level of this team is going to look like. There's a point in this season where they won like 8 straight games in the Big Ten. They were rolling teams, just rolling through people. Michigan is a dangerous team if they continue to be hot. Iowa State, I don't think they're gonna have a problem with either San Diego State or UNC. Easy pick there. Michigan State, if they beat Bryant, I think Bryant is going to cause them more problems than New Mexico would. Michigan State, just so well coached. So right now we have a 1, a 5, a 2, and a 3, which I don't love. Hopefully we'll get some more lower seeds into our Sweet 16 in the later regions. And like I said, I'm going to come back to that Auburn game. We'll see how I feel about it, but it could be Louisville there, who is our 8 seed. Could stay Auburn. We'll see. But we have Michigan, Iowa State, and Michigan State there for sure. Okay. Florida, UConn. I think Florida, I just don't think anybody can touch them right now. I don't think anybody can touch them. I'm going to go Maryland over Colorado State. So we have the 1 and the 4 again. I'm going to go Texas Tech. And this is a game that I'm comfortable with. I am comfortably picking Texas Tech to the Sweet 16. Very comfortably. Because I think Missouri has a chance to lose to Drake. So I'd rather not pick them again. Like you have to think about it sometimes like that. Do you really want to lose a Sweet 16 team in the first round when you're pretty damn confident that Texas Tech is going to get there? If that makes sense. Arkansas St. John's. This is a game that I think can be really dangerous for St. John's. St. John's is going to be the belle of the ball. Everybody loves St. John's. Everybody loves Rick Pitino. He has the great sound bites. He's the Italian guy. I love him. I love him. He's great. Love St. John's. They play good defense. Team can't shoot. They're not great offensively. But those are just whispers, right? They have no tournament experience. There's some things about St. John's that worry me. And they could either go Final Four or they could ruin everybody's bracket. And it's going to be one of those two. I don't think it's just going to be like a Elite Eight. I think it's going to be one of those two. And right now, this is crazy. Right now, I like Arkansas. I think Arkansas has the firepower. I think they have the talent. I like Arkansas here. John Davis, Boogie Flan, DJ Wagner. Boogie Flan back is huge. Like that's an 18-point a game score they're getting back. And I think if they get that win over Kansas, that's a big time win for Arkansas. If you give a team with that much talent confidence, it could be crazy. The one thing that scares me here for Arkansas, it's going to be all St. John's crowd. Okay. So it's in, where is it? Providence, right? It's in Providence. So we could, oh, this is so hard. I hate picking against St. John's. I hate it. I don't want to do it. And I'm going to have to do it eventually. My only thing is I don't think St. John's gets past Texas Tech anyway. So I think Texas Tech would beat St. John's. So having them lose a game early to try to make a splash and have one of your upsets make the Sweet 16, that's a good spot to do it. Because like I said, if I don't think they could beat Texas Tech, I think eventually something's going to give for St. John's. They don't have a primary shooter. They don't have those guys who you can just give the ball. Like Kadari Richmond's great. He's amazing. RJ Lewis, great. They're amazing. But I don't really trust either of them to just, here, take the ball, take this game over right now. Like we need you to score 25, 30 points. I don't see that for them. Arkansas has a couple guys who can do that. And in the tournament, you need shit like that. You really do. I keep seeing all these stats, like this many teams have gone to the Final Four with shooting lower than 35% as a team from 3. And Rick Pitino's coached 3 of them. Like, I get it. I really, really get it. I think we're getting a little bit too caught up in the and the galore and the fun and the excitement and just like the energy of St. John's right now that we're forgetting. Like, there's some glaring issues and holes with this team. So I'm going to go with Arkansas. So that's a big time SEC pool right there. You're going to have two teams in the Sweet 16 in this region. People are going to hate that I did that, but fuck them. I don't care. Mississippi State, Duke. Duke, if they're healthy, I think they'll be fine. Mississippi State's good. I think that's a shitty game for Duke to have to play. Injured, because Mississippi State's going to physical the hell out of you. Like, they're going to beat you up. So I think that could be a dangerous spot for Duke. That's one of those games that the spread's going to be like 9.5 in favor of Duke, and Mississippi State's it's going to be just a like a bloodbath. It's going to be a close game. It's going to remind me of that Tennessee Duke game from a couple years ago. I think Duke lost that one, but this one they win. We're going to go with Duke. They're just so damn talented. Oregon, Akron. I'm going to go Oregon. I love Oregon in March. I really do. I think they're going to make a nice run. I'm comfortable with Oregon going to the Sweet 16. Wisconsin, VCU. VCU. Sweet 16. VCU. I love them. The Rams. So much dog in this team. So much defense. Just so much energy and just passion. Like, straight up. I love them. Love VCU. And I think it's just one of those games Wisconsin's going to rely on their shooting too much. VCU is going to be able to close out, be ready to roll. VCU. And then we got Alabama, St. Mary's. I don't love Alabama. I've said it again, time and time again. It's a team that worries me. They've been here, though. They brought a lot of guys back from last year. You got Sears still. Grant Nelson, I don't know if he's going to be able to go, but if he's there, you got guys who have been there. It's a very difficult matchup against St. Mary's because there's such conflicting styles. St. Mary's wants to play 60 to 50. Alabama wants to play 80 to 90. St. Mary's is going to have a really difficult time keeping up if they can't dictate the pace. Because of that, I'm going to go with Alabama. And then we're going to have something in store for you after that. Houston, Gonzaga. I think Houston wins by 20. I think Houston wins by 20, and I think Clemson beats High Point comfortably. I think this region is where we're going to see our worst round of 32 games. They're just not. I don't see the matchups working out. I think Houston is so good. I think Gonzaga is overrated. I think Georgia could beat them, for Christ's sake. I think everybody's just looking and seeing Gonzaga as an 8 seed and being like, whoa, Gonzaga as an 8 seed, that doesn't make sense. Watch games. Don't come out here on March, what day is it? March 16th, and just assume you know shit. Like, Gonzaga's going to come out here and go to the Final Four, because it's not the same team. They don't have Drew Timme. They just, like, it's not the same team. So before you go and pick them to win the region, just go check some details out first. Clemson, I like them to go to the Sweet 16 again. Illinois, Kentucky. I'm going Kentucky just because I don't even know if Illinois is going to be here. It depends on who they play, Texas or Xavier. So we're going Kentucky. I'm going Kentucky, Tennessee. So 2 more SEC teams. So that leaves us with what? 2. Arkansas's 3, Florida's 4. We have Alabama 5. We have Auburn 6, tentative. Auburn 6. 6 SEC teams in the Sweet 16. If you're an SEC fan or like a SEC Glazer, I'd hang my hat on that. You have 14 teams make the tournament. You get 6 of them to the Sweet 16, possibly 4 teams in the Elite 8. That'd be great. That'd be a great success year. So let's get to our next one. This is strictly for the moment. Just look. I mean, wouldn't that be beautiful? Michigan State in the Elite 8. Are you shitting me? That would be unbelievable. After the drama they've had this year, the whole standing on the logo bullshit and the Trey Holloman pushing people and Michigan State beating them both times in regular season, that would be unbelievable. Regular season champs versus tournament champs, the fan base is arguing. You could not script it any better than Michigan State, one of the most underrated college basketball rivalries. It is, when these two teams are good, I would say it's the best rivalry in the sport. Duke, North Carolina, obviously, it's great. UNC is so inconsistent. When Michigan and Michigan State are good, these two teams just go at it. It's incredible. And they always do well in March. If you think back to John Beeline days, 2013 until Juwan got there. Even the first couple of years of Juwan, when Michigan gets to the tournament, they go Sweet 16. When Michigan State gets to the tournament and they get there every year, they could be a 7 seed, they could be a 2 seed, they could be a 1 seed. It doesn't matter. Michigan State makes runs. These two teams have carried the Big Ten in the tournament on their shoulders for years. And I would give up a fucking kidney to see Michigan State in the first round or in the Elite Eight. It would be for a trip to the Final Four, first year Dusty May versus Tom Izzo, trying to get back with this team that he didn't even think was going to be good. Like early in the year, if you look at Michigan State, you're like, this team's not like it's another 8 seed. And look at what he's done with this team. They're incredible. 12 guys roll out there and play 15, 20 minutes a game. They're so good. And Jace Richardson has ascended into that superstar, just spot, right? Like you have a team that's a 2 seed. They won the Big Ten by 3 games, and they have one player that made an all Big Ten team. Not first team, not second team, third team. That's it. Just one guy. That is unfucking believable. They're just such a good team, and they play good defense. They can shoot. They struggle shooting a little bit, but they can do it when they need to. They have guys like Jaden Akins, Jace Richardson that can shoot. I would kill for this, and I'm going to put it. I'm putting it on my bracket. And that's part of the reason why I'd have Auburn losing to Louisville, because I think it's just destiny to see Michigan State in the Elite Eight. That would be a dream. It'd be a dream. I'm going Florida, and I'm going Texas Tech here. Like I said before, Maryland, I love Maryland. I just think Florida's just a buzzsaw right now. And Texas Tech, I'm really high on. I'm really high on Texas Tech. Here, I'm going to go with Houston, and I'm going to go with Kentucky. Kentucky seems to have Tennessee's number pretty much every year. I really like this spot for Kentucky. They win the ones that are important against Tennessee. I'm going to go with that. So then we have, we got to go back up here. And this is where I get a little weird here. I don't want to have 3-1 seeds in my Elite Eight. I don't want to do it. But can Oregon beat Duke? Can they? Can Oregon beat Duke? Duke is so good, right? Duke is so good. Duke is so good. We haven't seen them really play anybody in a while. Oregon beat Bama. I got to look it up because Oregon, I'm almost certain they've played some fucking teams in non-conference play this year. They played some teams. I got to double check and make sure I'm not tripping. Let's see. Texas A&M, San Diego State, Alabama. I guess not as many as I thought, but still, I like Oregon. I like Oregon a lot. Texas A&M, Alabama, San Diego State. That's a good trio right there. It's a good trio. It's a trio I like. And I think, look what they did to Troy. Look what they did to Montana. These are tournament teams. Just by the way, what if I did it? What if I just said fuck it and did it? Dana Altman magic. What if I just did it? I'm going to do it. Oregon, the Duckies, quack, quack. The Duckies are going to the Elite Eight. And you know who they're going to see there? I can't do it. I got to do Bama. Fuck, man. I don't want Bama to make the Elite Eight. Bama's not that good. I hate this region. This region's a wash. I'm going to get everything in this region wrong. It's so annoying. Nah, I'll go with Duke. No, I'm going with the Duckies for now. We'll see if I change my mind. I'm going with the Duckies. It's fucking March Madness. What the hell? 5-2, 5-2. We're getting fucking fired up here. 1-3, 1-3. It's beautiful. They match. They're great. That's exactly why it's not going to happen. All right, but I love it. I love it. Oregon gets the mojo going. Jackson Shelton just has one of those magical marches. Magical march. This is the end of the line for Michigan. I've been saying Michigan State Final Four pretty much all year. They own us, sadly. But we're going to go Michigan State there. I think it would be a great game. I just think it'd be a spectacle to see Michigan in the Final Four or in the Elite Eight. We're going to go Michigan State. I'm going to go Bama somehow finds their way to the Final Four just based off of their weak-ass schedule. We're going to go Houston, and I'm going to go Florida. And I think Florida, Texas Tech would be one of the best games you'll ever see. I think that'd be great. And then we get Michigan State, Florida. I would love Houston, Bama. I would love again. And then I'm going to go Florida, Houston. And this is where I'm going to go Florida. They're just hot, man. There's not a better team in the country right now than Florida. They're on fire. It's a team I love watching. So that's what I have. Let's take another little just rundown of it. We got Auburn, Michigan, Yale, a big upset. We got Michigan State, Michigan in the Elite Eight in this region. That's our or our South region. Couple upsets in there, nothing crazy. In our East region, we have Oregon to the Elite Eight, a shocking pull. Alabama getting out of it into the Final Four. We have Akron upsetting Arizona. VCU all the way to the Sweet 16. So that's our hectic. The East is our hectic region. We go down to the West. Florida runs through it. I think they run through it comfortably. We have Maryland getting to the Sweet 16, giving them a good game. I have Arkansas upsetting St. John's. A lot of this is tentative. Obviously, we're going to be switching shit around as the week goes on. We have Houston getting out of this region in the West and playing Midwest and playing Kentucky. High Point upset Purdue. Nothing crazy in that in that region. So we have a couple updates for you though for Orange Juice. I made picks for every conference tournament. Pick the winner for each conference tournament. There's 31 of them. I correctly picked 13 of them. So I know 13 out of 31 doesn't sound great, but like when you factor in a lot of these teams weren't the favorite, 42% on that is pretty damn good. I'm pretty pleased with it. But I did agree. I will be pretty much punishing myself. So I will be running a 400-meter lap around a track for each of these teams. For every 4 laps I have to run, I have to finish a jug of orange juice. So like first lap, I start, chug, 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 run a lap. When I get back, chug, 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 run a lap. And I got to keep going. And 13 teams, if you know math, that's 3 miles. That's 3 whole 12, 13 whole times around the track. That's 3 1/4 of a mile. So I'm going to be running a 5K and chugging a lot of orange juice. This will be recorded. This will be posted on TikTok. This will be posted on Twitter. And you know what? A lot of people might say, well, he's not going to do it. Well, fuck you. I bring the juice every day. We will be doing it. And I can't wait to do it. Orange Juice Sports. This is a beautiful bracket. Tail it if you want. Hate on it if you want. I do not care. I love it right now. I will let you know, keep you updated with any changes I make. The national championship game is not going to change. Florida and Houston is what I'm sticking with. I don't think Michigan State's not going to change. Alabama might change just because that region's just so ugly. It's really ugly. But yeah, we're ready to roll, man. March, ready to roll. What do we have? We have games Tuesday, Wednesday. We got our playing games. We'll be watching those. I think what I'm going to try to do also, I think I'm going to try to live stream a couple of videos of me watching games, get some reactions, hopefully some late game situations and whatnot. So it's going to be a fun week, man. We're going to do a lot of betting. We're going to do a lot more just messages out there and picks. I hope this was an informative video. I hope I helped. Good luck, everybody. Oh, if you don't follow the Twitter, I'm going to show you right now. Well, I can go on my do it on my laptop. We are doing a bracket challenge. It's free to sign up. We're doing a giveaway. Whoever has the top, let's see. Where's my profile? Beautiful. 163 followers. Help me get this up. Come on, people. I know you see that betting record. We're looking good. Yep. Did I? Where is it? There it is. $50 BetMGM card for the person who wins. This is free to join. There's a password in it. Join the bracket challenge. Anybody can do it. You get 1 entry. You don't have to pay anything to do it. If you're going to join it, hit me with a retweet and a follow just so we can get some more people in it. Let's have some fun. And if you come in first place out of anybody in the pool, I got a $50 BetMGM gift card for you. Pretty sure that is available in all states. I was trying to make sure because last time I did DraftKings and a lot of people were complaining that they couldn't use it. We're not getting a lot of views on this, so help me out. We're going to try to get it bumping a little bit. I'm going to post it on the TikTok as well. But go follow Orange Juice Sports Pod on Twitter. It's a 0 instead of an O in the Orange Juice Pod section. Let's get it going, guys. That's good. Good luck and happy March. Hold on.